Welcome to Artificially Literate, the place where we dig into the deep thoughts hidden inside the stories we think we know. Today, we're taking the second start of the right and flying straight into the surprisingly complex world of J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan. And believe me, the key to this whole thing is realizing that Neverland isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. Right out of the gate, Barrie basically hands us the Rosetta Stone for his entire story. He's telling us, flat out, this isn't some fantasy island you can find on a globe. Neverland is a map. It's a literal geography of a child's psyche, a place that's got adventure, sure, but it's also just swirling with confusion and all these wild contradictions. So how exactly do you go about building a world like that? Well, what Barrie does is he smashes together these epic childhood fantasies with the most boring, everyday stuff you can imagine. The result is this world that feels massive and personal all at the same time. Just like a kid's imagination. And this is what I find so fascinating. You've got your coral reefs and your pirate ships, your savages and lonely lairs, all the classic adventure stuff, right? But then, right alongside it, you have the anxiety of your first day of school, the simple joy of chocolate pudding, getting 3 pence for a tooth, and then, my absolute favorite, verbs that take the dative. What is that even doing there? It's just so specific, so random. It perfectly captures that chaotic junk drawer of a kid's brain, full of things they've heard but don't really understand. And who is the king of this chaotic little kingdom? Well, Peter Pan, of course. He's not just a resident, he is Neverland. He's charming, he's a thrill-a-minute, and he is completely defined by one single powerful idea. He will not grow up. Now you have to understand, this isn't just some kid's whim. Peter's entire identity is a rebellion. He tells Wendy he ran away on the very day he was born because he heard his parents talking about all the things he'd have to do as a man. So for him, fun isn't just fun. It's a constant, frantic escape from responsibility. This one little moment tells you everything you need to know about his emotional development, or lack thereof. When Wendy, who understands the world of feelings and symbols, offers him a kiss, he's just completely baffled. He doesn't get it. He can only process things that are real and tangible. So he gives her a thing, an acorn, button, and calls that a kiss. He's not just being cute, he literally doesn't speak the language of human connection. And of course, we can't talk about Peter without talking about his ego. It's legendary. After Wendy goes to all the trouble of sewing his shadow back on, he instantly forgets she did anything and starts crowing about how brilliant he is. Barrie tells us this incredible, almost infuriating self-centeredness is one of Peter's most fascinating qualities. Okay, this is where the story starts to show its dark underbelly. The moment a girl, Wendy, shows up in this world of eternal boyhood, she's immediately pushed into one very specific role: mother. Just look at how Peter recruits her. He doesn't promise her that she'll get to fight pirates or fly with fairies as his equal. No, he tempts her with the idea of doing their chores. He wants someone to tuck them in, to darn their clothes, to make them pockets. He's not looking for a partner in adventure. He's looking for a domestic servant. Wendy isn't a friend. She's a function. And if there was any doubt left in your mind, Barrie just smashes it with this one. Absolutely devastating line. Wendy is trying to get some real emotion out of him, and she asks what his feelings for her are. And he says, "Those of a devoted son, Wendy." It is just crushing. It lays the whole thing bare. There's no romance, no partnership, just a lost little boy looking for a replacement mom. Man, that line, it just lands like a ton of bricks, doesn't it? It really forces you to reevaluate the entire fantasy. And while we're letting that one sink in, this is the perfect time to mention that if you're enjoying this kind of deep dive, you can find Artificially Literate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. We'd love for you to follow along for more. All right, so every great hero needs a great villain, but Captain Hook is so much more than that. He's not just a bad guy, he's a tragic figure. He's complex, he's deeply unhappy, and really, he is the walking, talking embodiment of everything Peter Pan is terrified of becoming. Hook's entire personality is built around this obsession with good form. It's this rigid code of conduct he learned at some fancy school, and he can't shake it. He is haunted by rules, by propriety, by the past. The man is completely trapped by the very structures of adulthood that Peter so casually rejects. This really breaks it down perfectly. Hook is tormented by time. That ticking crocodile is literally his nightmare. Peter, on the other hand, has no sense of time and forgets things instantly. Hook obsesses over rules. Peter makes them up as he goes along. Hook is a prisoner of his past, and Peter doesn't have a past. During his final showdown with Hook, Peter doesn't even define himself as a person. He says he's an idea. He's youth. He's joy. This isn't just a kid fighting a pirate anymore. This is a battle between the abstract idea of childhood and the grim, ticking reality of getting older. And yet, for all his villainy, Hook has these moments of incredible depth. He's watching this bird, the never bird, protecting her eggs from drowning, and he's genuinely moved. He sees this selfless, maternal devotion that he craves, but knows he can never have. It's a moment of profound loneliness, and it beautifully sets the stage for the story's final act. So this brings us to the real emotional heart of the book, going home. And it's not just a choice between London and Neverland. It's a choice between two completely different and totally conflicting philosophies about love, memory, and what it means to be a mother. So what is a mother's love really? Is it a guarantee? Is it something you can lose? The book gives us two starkly different answers to this question. One is a beautiful fairy tale, and the other is an absolute nightmare. First, you get Wendy's story. This is the version we all want to believe, right? It's a story built on absolute faith, that no matter what you do or how long you're gone, a mother's love is this constant, unwavering light, and that nursery window will always, always be open for you. And then Peter just destroys that beautiful image with his own story, a story of pure terror. He flew back, just like Wendy said he could, but the window was barred. His mother had forgotten him, and there was another little boy sleeping in his bed. This isn't a fantasy for him. This is the primal trauma that created Peter Pan. He isn't stuck in childhood by choice. He's imprisoned there by the fear of being forgotten. The ending of Peter Pan is famously bittersweet. And it's because growing up is framed as a kind of tragedy, a loss of magic. But staying a child? Well, that's shown to be a state of profound, unending loneliness. This is probably one of the most famous lines in all of English literature, but it gets misunderstood all the time. When Peter says this, facing what he thinks is certain death on Marooner's Rock, it's not a brave boast. It's a tragedy. It's the cry of a boy who's so frozen in time, so unable to change or grow that he can't truly live. So for him, the only new experience left, the only awfully big adventure, is death. So why can't adults fly? Barrie gives us the answer when the grown-up Wendy tries to explain it to her daughter. It's not just that they stop believing, it's that they fundamentally change. Growing up means forgetting the way, losing something essential about your very nature. And right here, Barrie gives us the explicit, brutal price tag for that magic. To be able to fly, he says, you have to be gay and innocent and heartless. And by gay, he means joyful and carefree. Innocent, we get, but that last word, it lands like a punch in the gut. Heartless. That's the awful trade-off. To keep that eternal youth, to stay in Neverland forever, you have to surrender the very thing that makes us human, the ability to form deep, loving, lasting bonds. And this is the central question the book leaves us chewing on. What's the real awfully big adventure? Is it flying forever in a world that never changes? Or is it the messy, complicated, often painful, but ultimately meaningful journey of growing up? The story, of course, doesn't give us an easy answer. It just leaves us with that final, haunting image of Wendy, now a grown woman, watching the boy who will never change fly away with her own daughter, ready to start the cycle all over again. Thank you for joining us on Artificially Literate. Be sure to follow so you never miss our next explainer, and feel free to check out our back catalog for more deep dives into the stories that shape us. Until next time, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.